Hello everybody, I'm Mr. Gus and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be seeing if it's possible to get 100,000 health in the Elder Scrolls Online. Now, where did this idea come from? So, this was recorded just before the release of the Arcanist class, and I had plans to create a build ready to go for that class, so as soon as I hit max level, I'd be ready to jump straight into Dungeons or Trials. But before that, I wanted to see if there was any extra builds I could make for the characters I actually use. And I've only ever played a tank, so the first idea I had was to make a speed build, a build to make farming easier, getting to and from easier, and if you have the companion that allows you to switch sets on the go, you can just run the set all the time and just switch to your dungeon sets when you're actually running them, which is super helpful. And I was just about to start working on my Arcanist sets when I remembered way back when I first started playing the Elder Scrolls Online, and I first created my wee little baby tank. I thought the best thing in the world was health. And once you get to the mid-game, or the early game if you really know what you're doing, you're going to realize that health is only one of the three main pillars of a tank, besides resistance for reducing the incoming damage and stamina for the ability to block. So health is actually only one of three stats that you want to kind of try and equally balance. But I had a dream. I had a dream back then to hit 100,000 health, and we're going to see if we can make little baby noob me's dream come true. So, first off, what race and class do you want to pick? You want to pick Orc for your race and Necromancer for your class. Orc for the unflinching rage ability, increasing your health by 1,000, and Necromancer for the Goliath ultimate, increasing your health by 30,000 for 20 seconds. That is absolutely insane. Then you're going to want to go and get yourself the Lord Munderstone. This is going to increase your HP by 2,000, going up to about 4,000 if you have all of your armors set to increase the power of Munderstones, which we are going to have a few of, but not all of them. We'll come back to that later. Then you're going to want to make sure all of your attribute points are in health. If you haven't been putting them in as you've been leveling up, or if you've already used your free respec scroll for hitting level 50, then you're going to have to pay a few K for this. But at any of the churches in the main cities, this is a relatively cheap thing to do, at only between 3 to 5K. Now we're getting to the important stuff, the armor. Of course, you're going to want all of your armors to be heavy, and if you can afford it, gold. Starting with the best armor for health, arguably the Plague Doctor set. This is an overland set acquired from Deshan, or you can also buy it from merchants for sometimes an absurd price. But because this isn't a leveling zone for the Ebonheart Pact, you will often find them at a reasonable price, and if you look around enough, you can pretty easily get the sets with the correct armor effect. Now, do you just want Mundus or increased armor enchantment on every piece? No, you only actually want increased armor enchantment on the legs, the chest, and the shield, as they defaultly give you more, and you want Mundus on everything else. This is something I didn't know as a beginner, and now that I'm a veteran, it is a very cool little tidbit for a bit of extra health. And for set number 2, we're going to want the Warrior Poet set, which when you get into a really specialized build for health, the 10% bonus to health you get for Warrior Poets actually makes it the best set, tying with Plague Doctor at 50k, but becoming better at Plague Doctor above 50k. This is an overland set from Vardenfell that is a lot less popular in the merchants, but if you get the set as the rings, necklace, shield and sword, I find they've popped up a lot more often in the merchants, and you've got a really good deal for them. And I wouldn't bother going for the gold jewellery on this, as it's a lot more expensive and you only get just over 30 extra health per. And if you're upgrading them yourself, it's 240 grand, so don't waste your gold, everybody. That extra, 100 health is not worth it. Now here is when it stops becoming a viable build and it starts getting crazy. So up until now, you could have played it as just a normal tank with a whole lot of health. It wouldn't have worked great, but it could still have worked. My tank sort of worked when I first started playing ESO. But with this, it becomes completely unviable. The Gaze of Sithis is an amazing piece of equipment, increasing your health by about 4,000, but reduces your block mitigation, aka the damage you block, to 0, making any tank build utterly useless, but essential if we want to try and hit 100,000. To acquire this, you're going to need 10, in other words, max in both excavation and scrying, and do a whole laundry list of tasks, including killing Vanadrith in normal or veteran, obviously you want to do normal, Cradle of Shadows, and globetrotting all around the map to find 5 different various pieces, which aren't 100% drop, so if you get bad RNG, this can be an absolute nightmare. But with good RNG, it's not too bad. You could probably do it in a single day if you have the skill. Now, for those of you who have been paying attention, you might have realized that we had 1 space left. You're going to want to fill this with any 2-piece monster set that has the first effect as health. And you could also, if you wanted, equip the headpiece and make this a viable build. And of course, all enchantments, you want them to be gold health enchantments. Purple if you can't afford gold, but if you can, gold them all the way. Now, we've got a pretty good looking build here. This is starting to look like we might actually hit 100,000 hit points. Ah, you thought I'd forgotten, but of course we can't forget about food, essential for all tanks. Now, high tier food, golds, purples, blues, all have split effects, so the highest single stat increasing, just health I could find, was only actually green, and that was the Festival Sword Pie for a cheeky 6,160 extra health. Although weirdly, when you eat this and then go into your character stats, it only actually shows as increasing 5,775. Weird little oversight with the developers there. Alright, now we're starting to look pretty good here, but there's one more thing that everyone forgets about. Alien Wells. Now these are items hidden throughout the game. Not many are in the overland zones, but there is one here in Blackwood that I like to use. Now, it doesn't say this, but they do disactivate if you leave the zone or you log out, so you can't use these for trials or anything. This isn't World of Warcraft. But it is a free 10% boost to our total health, so I am not going to complain. Now, we want to make sure we have our Bone Goliath ultimate and ready to go. Activate the well, eat our food, and whoa! 105,000 health. We did it. It is actually possible to get 100,000 health in the Elder Scrolls Online. Is it possible to have your character just sit at 100,000 health? Unfortunately, I don't think so. We could have actually got this a little higher. Having a friendly tank in the group with Eben would have increased it by 1,000. Golding our jewellery would have increased it by 100. This was a new ulti-level, so levering various other skills would have increased it by a few thousand. So you could actually go more than this if you wanted to. But unfortunately, that is all I have for you, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching. And if you're interested in me doing a part 2, seeing if it's possible to hit 150,000 health, or perhaps doing an episode on 100,000 magicka or 100,000 stamina, almost definitely no. But I'd be down to try it. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to see either of those. I will play later, everybody, and I will see you in the new DLC on my Arcanist very soon.